Should marriage be the goal for dating couples? Let's get into this thing right now. Yeah. It's your boy JB, live and direct to you. You know what it is. Come on and join in. What up? It's your boy JB coming at you live and direct, and you know what it is. It's the Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. I'm the Real Cigar Jeff. You can find me on Instagram at the Real Cigar Jeff. You can find me on Facebook at the Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. And of course, you're on YouTube, man. Do me a favor right now. Hit that like button, mash that subscribe button, turn on that bell for notifications, man. It helps out the channel, man. And y'all know we got it. Before we get into this topic, I got to introduce my panel. The Hometown Hookup Edition is here. Y'all know who I got in the building, man. He back once again like a bad rash. The self-proclaimed people's champ. I'm going to let him introduce himself. Tell y'all where y'all can find him on the socials, what he's smoking on and what he's sipping on.
Y'all keep having me back, so I keep being here. So, as always, it's your boy T.O. Clayton. You can find me on Instagram at T.O. Clayton #1. I'm also on Patreon, The Joke I Didn't Tell. Tonight, I'm smoking on, this is a Rocky Patel. It said Grand Reserve.
Oh, okay.
Now, you're making fun of me the other podcast because I can't find Buffalo Trace anywhere around. So I had to switch it up a little bit. Do a little whiskey tonight. But this is Henry McKinnon. This is aged 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Single barrel whiskey. So, it's not my Buffalo Trace, but I can't find that around here. But
hey, you gave up.
Nice.
Brad, that's a good stick. I would be impressed had you can just scroll down. Real Cigar K, Real Cigar Jeff, we did that. Y'all scroll down into the playlist. We reviewed that cigar. So, I'm glad you finally picking up some of the wisdom.
I appreciate the Real Cigar K.
Of course, you appreciate the Real Cigar K. Blah, 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 blah.
I listen to her reviews.
I'm tired of hearing it.
You tired of hearing it from everybody?
I'm tired. No. Do y'all see this? We can't even get into the podcast.
Go ahead.
This man is literally, you can go into the playlist, see we reviewed that cigar. All I ask for is my props, man. What I get. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go back and watch that review to see what we gave that on a grade. But yeah, man, that ain't good stick. Good bottle of whiskey. And the most important thing you didn't mention, boy, you're flying them colors tonight. I see the merch. I see that you got the merch. Y'all go ahead, man. Y'all see the store connected to the channel. Look at that. Got that merch, man. Appreciate, we appreciate TLC being on the, let me see if I can find it. Well, there you go. All right, there you go. Appreciate you being on, brother. It's always good. It's always good. Hey, y'all know who I got next, man. A1 from day one in the building, man. Just getting off, just coming in right off the highway to be on the podcast. I'm going to let her introduce herself. Tell y'all what she's sipping on and where y'all can find her on the socials.
Thanks, JB, for having me back. What's up, TLC? It's your girl, Rhonda. You can find me on Instagram at RMBLMBT. Tonight, I got the merch as well.
She got a whole... Put it over the camera a little bit more, Ron. Put it over the other way. Put it in the camera. Oh, you know who it is.
Okay. So
Nice.
tonight I'm doing the
Jack Daniel's apple.
And with the Fever Tree, just ginger ale. I've never tried
Fever Tree ginger ale.
So I'm gonna see what it's about. Thanks, JB, for the advice earlier today. I was in the liquor store, so I picked up some new stuff. So I'm gonna see what this tastes like. Back to you, JB.
Man, you know that, man. Look, y'all know R&B LMBT A1 from day one. Hit me up and when I'm in a staff meeting at one of my locations. Hey, I'm in the liquor store. What you recommend for the podcast? I said, this is what I like. People taking the podcast serious. TLC, you got some fans in the chat room, by the way. But Rhonda, we appreciate you. We appreciate you being on. We appreciate you being on. Yes, Lord. Always good to have my A1 from day one on. People who appreciate you. People who call you and want your advice. Yes, Lord. We appreciate that, man. y'all know, bro. I'm still going through my box, man. My nub Habanos, man. These things hit me right, good size, just enough for the podcast. Tonight I'm sipping on some of my basic stuff that was in the cabinet. Y'all know I just had to bring out my Maker's Mark. You know, I got my Maker's Mark tonight, TLC. I ain't trying to go, because this topic requires a little bit more of my attention. So I wanted to make sure I didn't bring out, you know, some of the other things I had in there. Because TLC, you know, I got the D Trace in there. You know, I got the Four Roses in there. You know it's stacked in there. I mean, that's still the Milagro in there. I mean, we got a little bit of a collection over here. So, you know, that's what I'm sipping on tonight. We're gonna do a little bit of this Maker's Mark. We're gonna get this thing going. Let me just toast this up a little bit more, get it going. Now, TLC, of course, you know I always throw it to you. When you got this topic, should marriage be the goal of dating couples?
Absolutely. I mean, if one of you is in prison, how you going to get them visits? I mean, come on. Absolutely. No, but with that aside, I still said yes. It should be a goal, but not the goal. I think you need to have some short-term goals in life. You need to have some long-term goals in life. But if you're with a person and you like who you're with, why not keep it going? So
okay,
yeah,
okay. I mean, y'all, Real Cigar K in the chat said she was drinking Pump King, the beer, and smoking a West Tampa cigar. I guess that's one way to.
we gotta add her on. We
might have to call it something else though. We'll figure it out. But she in the chat telling us what she drinking and smoking too. You know, y'all can always, if y'all want to join the chat, man, let us know. We'll let y'all see us do this live, man. It's just as good when you see it on YouTube. But TLC, I like what you said. You said that keep it going. Okay? All right. If both of y'all are in prison, keep it going is what you said, right?
Well, I said one of you are in prison.
If one of you are in prison, got to get those visits. Okay. All right. I like what you're saying, TLC.
But in all seriousness, I said yes. In a relationship, It should be a goal, but it doesn't mean it's the only goal.
Okay. All right. Okay, TLC, I like the way you kind of trying to delineate stuff right now so you don't get it. I don't snatch your soul today before this thing's over with. Rhonda, when you got the topic, tell me what you think when you got
it. Marriage should not be the goal for dating couples. Like, at all. Under no circumstances. And if you want to keep things going, then you stay dating. I don't see unless you're convicted by certain religions or whatever that you have to do that. But I think at the end of the day, marriage changed a lot of things in relationships. And I don't know if it's just signing that paper or knowing that now this person is supposed to only be with you. I think it's a good setup for some other things to happen. And so I don't think it should be the goal for dating couples at all.
Okay. And now, Rhonda, you know, I love when you bring it now. I love when you bring it. Because what I'm going to do, Rhonda, is I'm going to agree with you as well. I don't think marriage should be the goal for a dating couple. Why? You got two people who are absolutely happy. Then they get married and the wheels seem to fall off. What happened? Well, what happened is you got two perfect people. Y'all have heard me say this on previous podcasts. You got two perfect people entering into an imperfect system. I haven't met one couple that have made marriage work, but I've met a lot of people who made dating work. And what I mean by that, if you talk to anybody who married, what did I say in a previous podcast? They're going to tell you how many years they've been together, and that's it. It's going to stop right there. Right? Now, why am I saying it's not the goal? I'm not saying you're not going to end up in it. Because, Ronnie, you brought in a good point about tradition, religion, all that kind of stuff. But I don't think marriage should be the goal, because dating is a journey. Marriage is a destination. And now where I'm going there, you can't work on a destination. The destination is what it is. That's why married people are always having date nights. But dating people ain't ever trying to act married. And that's the best part. That's why marriage shouldn't be your goal. Now, you might call her wifey and you know, this is daddy, zaddy, whatever y'all people call people now around the look. And one of the things we got to start looking at one of the things we got to start looking at is not marriage not being the goal doesn't mean you love the person any less.
Mm-hmm.
Marriage not being the goal. I'm gonna go ahead and start and share this thing real fast. I'm gonna go ahead and share this thing. We're gonna get this. Go ahead.
Do that. Something just popped in my a song just popped in my head. You remember that song? It goes, "Where did we go wrong?
Where did we go wrong?
Where do people go wrong? Where they've been
B.O.B. B.O.B. Write them lyrics. B.O.B. Get down in the comments when you watch this and write the lyrics down to this, so we know you know it.
Why are things going so great when people are dating, but then when they get married,
we're gonna get into that, TLC. TLC, we're gonna get into that.
That's what I was saying.
We're gonna get into that. That's my whole point of saying no. I'm gonna give you. We about to share this real fast. Let me share my screen because y'all know it's the hottest thing in hip hop right now. There it is, right there. Okay, y'all, as y'all know, Jeannie Ma and Jeezy, in less than 2 years, he done filed for divorce. Now, why am I going there, right? Look at this, what it said. J. Wayne Jenkins, also known as Jeezy, abruptly filed for divorce from his ex, Jeannie Ma, 44, earlier this month. This is on the U.S. Sun, man. Now, it'll be linked in the description below. But what y'all saw, we woke up to it. Jeezy was slammed in the comment section of his Instagram post for seemingly dissing his ex-wife. Now, guys, they just had a baby together. Look, on September 15, news became public that Jeezy filed for divorce. The two welcomed their child together, Monaco, in January 2022. Most recently, the Atlanta rap star took to his Instagram with a set of full-body solo shots. His outfit consisted of black pants, a t-shirt, untied boots, and a patterned jacket with sunglasses. Why am I telling y'all this? They just had a baby. They got together in the pandemic. And already, he's filing for divorce. TLC, that goes right back to what you said. Go ahead, jump in there.
I don't really keep up with the hippity hop, so I don't really know a whole lot. How long were they dating before they got married? Just
remember, I want to say it was a few years.
No. Yeah, I don't know exactly.
It was a few years. It was a few years that they were dating, right? Mm-hmm. And so what happened, guys, is he came to y'all got to give y'all a backstory. And most of y'all who watch this gonna probably already know, but to give y'all a backstory, they were dating because he came on The Talk or The Real, whichever one she was on. Was she on The Talk or The Real? One of those.
I think it's The Real.
Right?
Don't act like you don't watch it. Go ahead.
Unlike you, I'm busy doing it today. But my point to you is, TLC, she had made a comment on her talk show. And she said to the people on the thing that she likes her black men on the side and her white man as the main. Oh, okay. So she found black guys attractive from a physical standpoint, but when it comes down to marriage, she would prefer a white guy. And of course, Tamar Braxton just lost it. The other sisters on the panel just lost it. Wasn't long after Jeezy came to be a guest on the show, and evidently they just hit it off. They connected. He thought she was beautiful, all that kind of stuff. This was all happening during the pandemic. And again, guys, that's what I'm trying to tell you. She came in, they got married, had a baby. Now all of a sudden, he filed for divorce. What happened? Go ahead, TLC.
So are you saying they got married because she got pregnant? Or?
No. They got married before.
Okay.
They got married before.
Okay.
And guys, what he captioned was too focused on who I'm becoming to focus on who's not coming with me. Bruh. And again, too focused on who I'm becoming to focus on who's not coming with me. How did that happen? And so I'm just gonna leave that up a little bit. You know how it happened? Because marriage happened. They were enjoying the journey. Then the destination happened. You know what's waiting on you at the destination? I've read some articles. What's waiting on you at the destination is your culture and her culture. Your family, her family. Everybody who ain't involved in the dating process is they're waiting at the marriage process, right? Go ahead, TLC.
But maybe that's a problem. Maybe when you're dating, you need to introduce the person you're with to your family and vice versa. You need to go to her cookout. Absolutely, TLC. Absolutely. But they did all that.
But everybody faking in front and doing the dating. The real come out when you're married, right? And this ain't a negative on anybody. Your culture, her culture. Your religion, her religion. Your tradition, her tradition. All this stuff comes out for real when you start dating that you never dealt with when you get married, that you weren't dealing with when you were dating. And the only reason I'm talking about this, guys, I could have brought up Halle Berry. I could have brought up, Kevin Costner, who's going through a divorce. All these people, if you pull up TMZ right now, right? You pull up TMZ right now. Real Cigar Cat, I appreciate you bringing it in. One of the things that also talked about was the baby gets talked to in Vietnamese by Jeannie and the mama who lives with her, because in their culture, you got to take care of the mama. And the mama was they're saying the mama was just being completely overbearing, acting like the baby was hers, and the daughter never checked her. Okay, so the husband, Jeezy, is speaking English to the baby, but the baby already knows Vietnamese too. So it was just a clash of cultures in there. Now, Rhonda, did you know about this at all? Had you seen this or heard about it surface?
I had heard about it briefly, of course, through my favorite Instagram page, the Shade Room. Yeah, I had saw a little clip on it. I didn't know the details. I'm not surprised that her mom lives with them, because I do believe that's a cultural thing. But I didn't know all of that was going on in the background. But I also think you could be of any ethnic group or race, and if you got your mother-in-law in the house, some stuff gonna go down anyway. Mm-hmm. You can't have two women in one house. It's only room for one. And if you're of that culture where you got to respect your elders, I'm from the culture of the elders could get it too. If they acting a fool, the elders could get it too. So, but if you have that, if you have that culture where if the mom is in the house and you have to basically do everything that she says or respect whatever wishes she has, then I could see that being an issue. And
or you see the mama, or you see, hey, Rhonda, not to cut you off, or you see the mama putting things in your child you don't want her to do, and the mother, the wife is not doing anything to stop it.
Well,
the mother and the baby, the mother and the baby dressing alike. I mean, the mother-in-law and the baby dressing alike. All this stuff that they doing. Jeezy just said, "I'm out."
But more importantly, he can't be the man of his house, because it didn't sound like he was not providing. I didn't hear anything about that. Like,
absolutely.
Had he stopped doing certain things or whatever, I could see how that could make you want to stop doing certain things. Mm-hmm. But if everybody would be honest about their mothers and their mother-in-laws, they know they're overbearing in a lot of cases. And when you have a grandchild, they like whole different people when parents become grandparents. It's a whole nother story. So that's unfortunate, because that means that you don't even know if the marriage broke up because of them or because of her, or was it a combination of both? All I know is when marriages fall apart, somebody stopped doing what they were doing when they were dating.
And Ronnie, you're making a good point. I'm gonna just share the screen again after I scroll down a little bit, and what y'all are gonna see no hope for reconciliation. But this weekend, Jeezy was seen with his ring on. Both of them signed a prenup. They started dating in 2019, guys. And a divorce has already been filed in 2023. And they just got married in 2022. Evidently, she signed a prenup a day before the wedding. So she had just commended him on his book being released. There's a lot going on, right? And guys, how does it go bad this quick? And we're using Jeezy as an example. But like I said, we can go across any culture. Kevin Costner. I mean, all these celebrities that are getting divorced, and a lot of things that was happening with these celebrities is that movies are drying up. The writers on strike. It's a lot of things that are being pressured upon these couples that they ain't meant to go through. So now TLC, you ask how long they were dating. 2019, got married in 2022.
Well, my thing is, I guess now that his mother-in-law is in the house, there's some conflict there. But maybe they should have tried things out as far as living together before they got married. I mean,
but maybe they were TLC. The mama just wasn't living with me. What do I mean by that?
No,
they weren't living together officially, but she was probably at his house, or he was probably at her house a lot.
Maybe he needed to spend more time with the mother-in-law to kind of figure things out.
No.
Before.
No. CTLC, that's the problem. That's why marriage doesn't work. Rhonda just said it, right? Now, if you go spend time with the mother-in-law, your marriage ain't the focus anymore. You look, guys, the most vows say forsaking all others. Right? Forsaking all others. You can't bring others in. Rhonda just said it can only be one in there. The marriage vow says forsaking all others. If there's another person in there, you can't bring another person in because you say it's your culture.
Well, I mean, just because it didn't work for their marriage, because it's a cultural thing, doesn't mean it doesn't work for other people in that same culture. I'm sure there's a lot of people that live in a house and their in-laws live in the house too, and they're not getting divorced.
And I bet all of them got high blood pressure.
That might be true, but they might not be divorced, though. It might not be the end of their marriage. So, if other people find a way to make it work, then it might be something going on.
I think the good thing about this, I think the one good thing about this particular divorce situation is they both have their own money to go their separate ways.
Yeah, they got a prenup, but what they're saying is evidently Jeannie Ma got caught off guard. She didn't know he was filing, so she got served. And I think at that point, she knew he was serious. And I think she had to sit down, have a conversation. You got to retake your household. Got to tell mama that, look, that culture that we're doing is clashing with the marriage. And if you want that child to grow up in a 2-parent household, all that kind of stuff, somebody got to go, right? And that means mama got to go. Now, why am I going now?
Yeah.
Y'all got to understand this Maker's Mark going down a little too smooth. Why am I saying this to you guys? And TLC, make sure you stay in the frame because you leaning out a little bit. Thank you, brother. Now, I'm going to go there. The reason why marriage shouldn't be the goal. And you know, I've done my research, and I think a lot of people's marriage are based in tradition. A lot of people's marriage are based in tradition. And one of the things you got to look at is that tradition is typically religious tradition, where they're using the Bible, the Torah, the Quran, whatever your book of spirituality is. But what we got to realize is this. Marriage back in the day was a property acquisition. Women, just like slaves, were not considered a full person. Y'all remember back in America when it first started, you couldn't vote unless you were a landowner. The Constitution was written, and certain people, when the Constitution was written, were not equal. Because now, guys, if you don't run your marriage like the person is a piece of property, how is it going to work? Because that book you're using or that tradition you're using is based on the woman being property and the man being a king. Because the servants couldn't get married. So y'all know our favorite movie, Coming to America. What did she say? All my life, I've been trained to serve you. He said, really? Bark like a dog. What'd she do? A big dog. Woof, woof, woof. Yeah, everybody remembers that part. And everybody in the actual movie theater, and even when you see this movie till this day, you start laughing. Why? What did she say? All my life, I was trained to serve you. Mm-hmm. Marriage was something that was arranged. Marriage was a property acquisition. Marriage was a business acquisition so that the families could stay wealthy. Now you got broke people getting married, wondering why we ain't getting wealthy. Go ahead, TLC. I see you got your hand up.
When you talked about movies, I was thinking about this actually when you brought up the topic. I was trying to think of a movie where the couple starts off like engaged or married, and it just gets better throughout the movie. I couldn't think of one. Like,
no, I was about to say,
TLC.
I couldn't think of one.
TLC, you said it should be the goal in the beginning.
I said it should be a goal, not the goal.
The goal. Okay, you splitting hairs now, right? But why am I saying this to you guys? I've watched marriage, and y'all got to remember, you know, I subscribe to Adam and Eve. It wasn't marriage until they got condemned outside the garden.
Absolutely.
They weren't husband and wife. And what y'all got to understand is, in that same Bible you read, it should be bride and bridegroom. Because once you see wife means ownership, wife means property, right? Wife means thorn in your side, right? Husband means you're going to work. This thing will always be work. And what do y'all hear when married people get, girl, boy, marriage is work.
Yes.
You got people who don't want to go home. You got people who don't want to go home because they don't know they're going outside of their garden when they go to work. We talked about work wives and work husbands last week. We're going to tie that thing in. This is why there's work wives and work husbands at work that don't fight. Sniggling and giggling, kikiing, chinning and grinning, bringing each other coffee. Let your wife call you and tell you bring something home on the way. Man, I've been sitting in this traffic for 2 hours. Why you want me to stop by the store? Why don't you go get it? Your work wife call. Hey, man, you on your way in? Can you stop by Dunkin' Donuts? Oh, you sure you don't want Starbucks? Right? Like that's what happened. That's what happened with the work wife.
You said that too real.
I ain't out early enough to get people talking. My point to you guys is this. Know the foundation of what you're doing. And one of the things you got to find is there's a difference between a husband and wife and a bride and a bridegroom. That's why marriage should not be your goal. If y'all want to have a committed relationship, go sit down with your attorney and do a contract between yourself. Because that's all your prenup is. Your prenup is governing it. And that way, when you walk away, whatever you had, you keep. Whatever she had, you keep. Whatever y'all did together, y'all split. But why are we not talking more civil unions where we are clearly seeing ain't nobody we know making marriage work? Why? But when we were dating, we didn't have this problem. You see what I'm saying, TLC? You can confirm your relationship without going through the government system. Because guess what? That same church.
I guess since I'm single, I'm not married or anything, I'm wondering, like, what pressure comes once you get married? Like, what changes?
Are you asking me, or you just? I mean, are you just speaking facetiously?
You're facetiously, but you are the only one married up here. So,
yes.
You know,
yes. Now,
what changed pressure wise?
No. It's really not a pressure thing, and I can talk with this in hindsight. What changes is the chase. What changes is the motivation. What changes is the conversation. What changes is the goal. What changes is the approach. Okay? And what I mean by that, something that didn't seem like work when you were dating, all of a sudden becomes work. And not anything the person put on you, by the way, guys. You all got to understand. Two perfect people in an imperfect system. I ain't got nothing. You talk to anybody who married. They don't have nothing technically bad to say about the person they married to. What they're talking about. No, here's the deal. That system has made them hate. Their person just does not perform well in the system. That's why when a married couple goes on a trip, when a married person goes on a date night and they step outside of that system, they say, man, why can't we do this all the time? Well, you step outside of your punishment, because marriage was punishment, and every church tells you marriage was ordained by God, but the scripture completely tell you the way we are doing marriage was not ordained by God. The bride is coming back for his bridegroom, right? So in essence, every day you want to change something, right? You know, and what if you want to change something? Watch what happens if you refer to somebody as your bride or as your bridegroom, and watch how people respond. Right? That's why. Right? That's why. Right? And so refer to her or refer to him as your girlfriend or your boyfriend. Watch what happens. Watch how everything changes. Right? And one of the things about us, I can speak for us. That's why I'm the Real Cigar Jeff and the Real Cigar K. Y'all know how many people hit us up? Why don't y'all just tell everybody y'all married? It don't matter. Because then, look, TLC, you know we married and you like, man, I love when y'all fighting. Over a cigar. Like, you can tell when we get to a point, we fighting. Like, oh, you don't like it? No, I don't like it. Oh, well, you don't have a refined palate. Oh, really? Okay, we going there. See, marriage can kick in so quick. But what will happen is, guys, is that you better understand that once you call somebody, and I want everybody to Google husband. Husband is rooted in the word, husband is the root word of husbandry. And for anybody who knows agriculture, husbandry, right, is basically a reproductive thing. It's not a leader thing. That's why when you look at your Bible, Paul really talked about husbands all the time. But guess what? When did Jesus talk about it? Matter of fact, Jesus, like the number one way this thing works, guys, is that what changes TLC is all of that. All of that. It becomes a destination instead of a journey. I ain't gonna call you and ask you, do you want something in? When I'm dating you, I'm just bringing it because I know you like it. I ain't waiting for something to go wrong to send you flowers, right? I already got it planned out. What changes is you no longer are fueled from just that unbridled passion that says, man, this person is focusing me. When you dating, this person is focusing me. I'm focused, she's focused on me. I'm focused on her. We got this inaudible communication that's going on that only two people can understand. Once you get married, everybody know that you are going through problems, which is why there's women who prey on married men and there's men who prey on married women. But those same people cannot prey on you when you dating. Does that make sense, TLC?
I hear what you're saying.
That's it. Rhonda, what you think, Rhonda? What you think?
Listen, I think you put it as diplomatic and as easy as you could. Because every married person that I've had a conversation with, they're like, this is hard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is more work than you could possibly think of. And I think there's, at least with dating, you can go back to your spot and the other person can go back to their spot.
Yes.
And with marriage, I think that's an added pressure, having somebody in the house with you. But again, speaking from a single lady, have never been married, don't have a desire to, but that doesn't mean that won't change later. But it's just, I just feel like.
And look at how she looks, y'all. Look at how she looks. If you knew her age, you wouldn't believe it. No. If you knew her age, you wouldn't believe it. But look at a woman who's been married since 23, 24, that would be doing the same work she's doing. And look at how she looks. Going to be a completely different picture.
Well, I appreciate it.
Going to be a completely different picture. If you see, this is why, guys, Rhonda, and I'm trying to be as diplomatic as possible, because one of the things I tell people about marriage is you ain't got to lie to me about it. You can keep trying to tell me your marriage different from all the rest of them, but the person you with, there's not a problem with that person. But trying to conform to that system, and all these expectations, TLC, from your tradition, from your parents, from your family, from her family, her tradition, all these kind of things. And then eventually one of y'all wake up, two of y'all, both of y'all wake up and say, man, we just gonna vibe. We just gonna vibe. Now, me and the rest of our case, we just vibe over cigars. We vibe over skin. We vibe over the things we do. But at the end of the day, we also know not to be up under each other. But your tradition told you, go home, vent to her, tell her everything, tell him everything. Y'all, all that stuff. And remember, we did work wives and work husbands last week. You ain't supposed to be bringing your work home. You ain't supposed to be bringing any of your issues home. Well, now we've turned home into the bondage and turned work into the freedom. That's why people want to work all the time. TLC, that's why people want to work all the time. When you dating, you go to work, man, F this job, man, I can't wait to get with my girl. Wait till you get married. Man, what time, how early can I get here? How early can I get here with my key card? TLC. And that has nothing to do with the actual person that you're with. Jeezy does not have a problem with Jeannie Ma. But the system that now includes all the bondage from your family, your tradition, your history, your culture, society, the government, all the stuff you got to do, there's only so much your shoulders can bear. There's only so much your shoulders can bear, TLC, before you start looking at outlets everywhere. So when you're single, that's why all the married people love hanging out with single people, because they're watching the burdens they didn't used to have. That's what they watching. And again, guys, it has nothing to do with the person. It has everything to do with the system. Marriage sucks. The person you with doesn't. So stop taking your frustration out of marriage, right? Stop taking your frustrations out with a system on the person you with. You trying to get out of that system. That's why ex-wives and ex-husbands don't move on. Once they get divorced, they try to now go and get the next person is still compared. Remember, guys, we did your ex ruining your relationship? That's why. Because you realize after you get out of it, damn, this person wasn't bad. I miss him. But now you done just got out of a bad situation to this thing called divorce, which is even worse situation. Because guess what, guys? I'm going to say this, TLC, and I want your thoughts on this. Rhonda, I want your thoughts on this. Why is it that the pastor signs the marriage license at the wedding, but when I get divorced, the pastor ain't nowhere around? I got to go to court. TLC, hop in there.
You do have a point on that one. I mean,
TLC, I get kicked out the church if I get divorced.
no, that if you get a divorce, I think your pastor should give you a refund of some kind. Like
your marriage counseling didn't work.
Hey, what you the one that says it's gonna last forever?
Yes.
Till death do us part. I
You
need
said
some.
with God. You said with God.
Right.
God ain't wrong.
And he ain't put nobody together like that.
Why don't the pastor have to sign a divorce decree, guys? But he got to sign a marriage license.
Yeah.
Y'all see what I'm saying?
Got a point.
This is
You
why,
do have a
this is
point.
why marriage doesn't. This is why marriage doesn't work. Everybody has a wedding. Everybody has a wedding. That's the best part of your relationship. Every day it should be bride and bridegroom. That's what God intended, was bride and bridegroom. He did not intend husband and wife. Right? He did not intend husband and wife. I talk every day about this. The boys came to Jesus and said, hey, man, Moses wrote a writ of divorcement. Won't you do it? Jesus said, nah, because from the beginning, it wasn't so. What did he mean it wasn't so? You shouldn't have got married in the first place.
It wasn't ordained.
It wasn't ordained. So why do I need to write a writ of divorce? And why are you so mad at this person? This person is not the problem. The person is perfect for you. The system is not perfect for you. That's why when they caught the woman in the act of adultery, what did Jesus say? He that is without sin, y'all cast the first stone. Guess what all the rest of them were doing? Same thing. That's why and that lady walked off. So all these things these people are out here doing, TLC, these people are out here doing this stuff. Your marriage should end officially right now if you're listening to this podcast. Y'all better go back to dating. I ain't saying go get divorced, TLC. In that system. Stop conforming to that system. Okay, that's why the scripture say you're in this world, but you're not of this world. Yeah, I'm in this marriage, but I ain't of this marriage. I got to think outside of this marriage. Y'all see what I'm saying? Because I don't have a problem with this person, but as long as I try to conform to that system, I'm going to keep finding problems with this person. TLC, and that's why marriage shouldn't be the goal. How do I go from loving this person, going to spend 2.5 times my salary on the ring, willing to do whatever, willing to jump in front of a bus, and just like Jeannie Martin Jeezy, 2 years later, you get a divorce? How that work, TLC? Tell me that's not a person problem. That's a system problem. Go ahead, TLC. Jump in there. I know I'm preaching. Go ahead.
I don't have anything because I'm not married. So I mean,
No, but TLC, it's the single people that's helping the married people out. If y'all go get married, some people gonna go crazy because you their release valve. Rhonda, you the release valve. You know that. You know that. Jump in there, Rhonda. TLC done got quiet now. You don't know which way to do it.
I mean, I was just thinking about the added pressures from the outside looking in, and it's like, as soon as you get married, then they're like, "Oh, when are y'all gonna have kids?" Then you have your first kid. When you gonna have the next one? Then you have the other.
Just jumped in the chat. You see that, Rhonda? You see she jumped in the chat. Dating with children changes things as well. Married with children changes things as well. Go ahead.
And it's almost like you can't enjoy the moment where you are, right? We know everybody out here getting some, whatever you out here getting, people gonna do the deed to make whatever children they do have, whatever they do with that. But it's like there's always something, like you can't enjoy the moment. There's always what's next and what y'all are gonna do next. And then even that, I just think that's added pressure on the outside looking in with married people, that people are always looking for your next thing, and you just trying to get used to the one thing. And if she met a black guy who changed her perception of what she thought black men were, or as far as just being on the side,
and he did. He did. Let's be honest.
And so like he opened up something in her, and I think it
yeah, he did.
Well, but it's like don't open up something with a woman, especially if she's told you certain things. Like, don't open up certain things that she's told you that she likes or dislikes, and then you go and do it. Don't open up something that you're not willing to nurture and love and take care of.
Stop right there, Ron. Stop right there.
That happens before you get married too, though. I mean,
but TLC, it wasn't a problem. TLC, her flaws weren't a problem when y'all were dating. Her flaws weren't a problem when y'all were dating. And let me tell you this, Rhonda, TLC, I'm preaching to y'all right now. And for all my married people, y'all can get down in the comments or text me, however y'all want to do it. But I'm tired of single people telling me that they can't tell me nothing about marriage since they ain't married.
Yeah.
I'm tired of people with children telling me I can't tell them nothing about kids since I don't have them. No, I told you not to have them. Right? I told you not to have them. Let me tell y'all this. Though, y'all know I'm quoting scripture now. The blind can't lead the blind. They're gonna be where? in the ditch. That's what the scriptures say, TLC. The blind can't lead the blind. So how is it that I only listen to married people about marriage? Because we both blind. What the hell? You know what you're doing? Making it worse. It's the single person who can speak logic to you. It's the person without kids who can speak logic to the person with kids. Y'all better understand how this works. Let me tell y'all this. I got a college degree from NC State. TLC, college degree from NC State. Rhonda, college degree from East Carolina University. How many people without college degrees said, man, that's a waste of time. I ain't doing all that college stuff. Right? It was all of the people who went to college trying to tell us how valuable college is, and look at us now. We ain't doing nothing. But we
everything outside of the classes.
We doing. Look, yeah, we need to go to the club.
Yes.
Right? We literally thinking that college was something that was gonna make us better. But the guy in our family who didn't go to college, who was free,
Balling.
telling us not to go. Telling us not to go, TLC. So I think one of the things we got to start recognizing, guys, I tell people not to get married. Not because my marriage is bad. I tell them because I know if a person is built to handle the weight that's about to be on their shoulder. Now, you trying to get married because of appearance, that marriage is going to be over. But that person you with has to be somebody that, Rhonda just said it, man, you're going to nurture, you're going to do everything you can possibly do for that person. But all of a sudden, guys, you're in the system and the person never gets better. See, the person never gets better. Go ahead, Ron. Jump in there.
But if you've been dating someone and then you have the outside pressure of mama and daddy, grandma and granddaddy, siblings, friends, like, oh man, when y'all gonna lock it down? When y'all gonna do, like, oh, it's been 2 years. Oh, it's time for y'all to go ahead on and decide, as they say, you gonna piss or get off the pot. I don't know if they say that. All that pressure is right, Rhonda. But what I'm also telling everybody and the people who listening to this, notice when you're dating, the best part of dating is when don't nobody know you dating. When y'all just sneaking and keep it quiet. That's the best time. That's the best time sneaking.
I was feeling bad this weekend when I saw Taylor Swift and the dude from Kansas City. I said, damn, everybody in their business, they got cameras rolling and everything.
Well, that's gonna be another podcast, because Black Twitter is pissed because you know he used to only date black women, and now TLC is going crazy on Black Twitter now because he done left his sister that he was with. I love
it for him. Like his jerseys, the sold
number one jersey.
Who would want a partner like that? So happy like that? Come on.
I ain't mad at him. Like,
look. Let me tell y'all something, man.
But the pressure is on him. The pressure's on him.
The pressure's on him now since he's seen. The pressure's on.
And he's not married. He's not talking about marriage or anything. But it's like they're already at that level of pressure that they have to deal with.
The reason why people want you to get married is they want to destroy your relationship. People who know you're getting along well won't tell you to get married. Anybody who doesn't love you, anybody who hates what you represent, they're going to tell you to get married. Next thing they're going to tell you to do is get married, then have kids.
Jesus.
Right? Now, here's the funny thing. People who were dating and then have children have more success with their children than the two-parent household. Why? What happens in a two-parent household, right? Two-parent household, mom and daddy fighting, kids see it. That's why nobody wants to get married now. These kids grew up being raised by an iPad, raised by an iPhone, because mom and daddy fighting the whole time. Single parent, do whatever they can to spend time with their child. They manage their schedule better. It ain't, oh, well, I had the kid this time, you get the kid this time, that kind of thing. When you're dating, think about it, guys. These people are dating. They start going to church make them get married. Now, all of a sudden, they fighting, they divorce. You can't go to church. You got to lie and tell people you married. Now, church, as soon as they find out you're single. Notice they got the singles ministry to make you try to get married.
Don't even go to church.
Don't go, man. Look, let me tell y'all something. When you are dating, the only thing y'all care about is you. Once you get married, all these other people who are just as bad off as you trying to impress them. And that's TLC. That's another thing. That's the one thing that happens when you dating. Make sense?
Oh yeah.
See. And so when you ask me about marriage, and I tell you and Rhonda all the time, don't get married. But if y'all find somebody that y'all like, that y'all vibing with, man, enjoy them. First of all, I ain't coming to no wedding. I ain't coming to no wedding. No. I'm done with weddings. I ain't coming to them because we too old now. I heard a
PB
rap.
again, you will be right there.
PB ain't getting married though. All right, I'll shut that down. PB ain't getting married. PB, if you listen to this, yeah, PB ain't getting married again. You gonna finish out your days and then go see the Lord, right? So ain't no need. You married to Jesus. Ain't that what she do? But guys, this is why marriage should not be the goal. And again, guys, everybody who listening to this podcast, if you dating somebody and it's working, keep dating them. Because every married couple gonna tell you to get married so you can be miserable like them. We all know the cliche, misery loves company. And like I said, ain't nothing worse than going out with other married couples. That's the worst date you can ever go on. That's the worst date you can ever go on is with other married couples. That's why when me and Real Cigar K go out, we over there just looking at the couples who married. And there's one, and the wife over there, mad that the husband want to smoke. Checking a watch. Right? Checking a watch. Ready to go. Can't stand smoke. Don't want to smoke. Don't want to drink. Drinking ice water. Right? The husband trying to talk to her. She don't want to be there. You can tell they made a deal. I'll take you here if you go smoke with me at the lounge. And we just in there dying laughing. And when they see us over there shooting a video, right? They see us over there shooting a video. Worst thing the dude can say is, man, why you ain't smoking a cigar like her, man? Look how good she look. F her. F her. Blah, 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 blah. That's what the women say. Right? And my point to you is, when you were dating, you wouldn't have had a problem with the cigar. You think about it. There were things you didn't have a problem that your person did. But the moment you became married, now all of a sudden you got a problem with their flaws. And guys, all of us have flaws, but dating allows us to not get caught up in that flaw. But when you're in this system called marriage, TLC, you're stuck with this person all the time, and you're putting this pressure on what you think a marriage should be. Because just like nobody taught you to date, nobody taught you to be married either. So now you're sitting in the house with this person, and you got raised to eat around the table. Well, this person got taught to eat in front of the TV. How the hell we fighting over where we gonna eat at in the house? Now you got one person watching TV, the other person sitting at the table because this is what a family should do, right? TLC, I'm just telling you. I go out to eat every night, or at least I'm calling DoorDash, right? Real Cigar K don't trust DoorDash because she claim they eat their fries. So
I don't trust them either. I just don't.
See,
I just don't.
See, but TLC, that's the difference. Now I don't even tell her I'm gonna order DoorDash. I just have it show up. Okay, well, give me that Five Guys burger. She ate it. But look, can't stand DoorDash, right? So look at what she just put in the chat. DoorDash lick their fingers. Look, this is the stuff you put up with when you married, right? This is the stuff you put up with. This is the stuff you put up with when you married. How you know the people in DoorDash licking their fingers, right? Now all of a sudden, everybody who got DoorDash on the way while they listening to this, like, really? You think they licking their? Why my fries so soggy? Right? You know what? So what we looking at, guys? What we're looking at is if you're in a marriage. A couple things I want to say. If you're in a marriage, act like you're dating. If you're dating, avoid marriage because it's going well for a reason. There's nobody who can fix the system. There's a reason Jesus didn't get married. The man with all power did not get all power in his hand, can raise the dead, heal the sick, turn water into wine, but he can't fix marriage.
You gotta pray about that thing. You gotta pray about it.
Boy, and the first thing people tell you to do is go pray about it. He ain't listening. He told you not to do it.
Exactly. But he gonna fix it. He gonna make a way.
He gonna make a way. That dude turn off his ears when you start crying about your marriage. No, boy, go through it. Go through it. Walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Right? TLC, when you hear me say that, though, man, tell me what you're thinking, bro.
Again, I'm not against marriage. I'm really not. I just think it's about getting to know the person before, maybe living with the person before. It has to work out for some. I think just because it doesn't work out for some people doesn't mean it doesn't work out for everybody.
There you go. No, stop that, TLC.
That's just my.
Y'all should shack up. Hey, you got shack up forever. I love going to a funeral, and when you get to the obituary and the person dead, and they say left to cherish his memory as his special friend. That's shacking up, right? Special friend, right? I'm like, dang, look, and that person sitting up there like, man, we had it good. We had it good. But look, the wife when you go, when his funeral over. look, the person who wasn't married to her, oh my God, I'm missing. The wife like, yeah, I'm done, man. I'm done. Look, this funeral need to hurry up. Go ahead, Pastor. Right? Go ahead, Pastor. The person who you weren't dating, the person who you weren't married to, they want to continue to honor you. If you married, go to the funeral. That spouse that's living is like, hurry up and get this over with. You up there telling them to be strong and all this stuff. No, I'm good. I'm literally good. The person who was shacking up, they actually missed that person. TLC, I'm just telling you the truth. When they say special friend on the obituary, that person hurt. That person hurting. But if they say spouse, left to cherish his memory, she up there mad as all get out, trying to look around to see who in this funeral then been with their significant other. That's all they doing. That's what I'm telling you, TLC. Rhonda, what you thinking?
And this Negro done died without life insurance.
Yep.
What about my Social Security benefits?
Yes. And it looks.
No, I really believe though, like, again, when you Americanize something, you can mess it all the way up. It shouldn't be that type of pressure on somebody. And I know people feel like they love the Lord and he blessed this union and all of this, but all that stuff is lies. It's just
it's
lies.
a big lie.
People love to be lied to.
Yes.
So people gonna continue to get married because that's what they're supposed to do, or it's the Christ-like thing to do, or like, God put us together. And again, people convicting you with their religion may not have nothing to do with you. But if you don't know who you are, if y'all both don't know who y'all are, they could convict you like that.
But Rhonda, they did. But they did, Rhonda, they did when they were dating. They did when they were dating. Everything changed when they got married. This is why people struggle with me when I say don't get married. Because I tell people I don't have a problem.
Because you're sitting up here married.
Absolutely. But I tell people.
You got somebody in the house with you.
No.
If you fall out dead, they could call 911.
Rhonda, somebody. Look, I start speaking long enough. Somebody calling 911. They ain't gonna let me sit up here too long, TLC.
I give myself 3 days.
That's what I tell my mama. I told my mama ain't no need to get me a plot. I'm raising up in 3 days. I don't care where they put me. Right? But Rhonda, look, that's the whole point. And I want everybody to understand what I'm saying. If you can listen to what I'm saying about a system versus a person, I don't have a problem with the person. The person has no issues. And any issues the person has doesn't bother me because I recognize that in the system of marriage, her negatives pop out and her positives are submerged. But when we were dating, the positives were so good that the negatives didn't matter. So tell me,
you had to make it be right. You had to make it be like, oh, I picked somebody great.
Yeah. And so what I try to tell people is don't get married because what you have going is good, right? What you have going is good. And I think one of the things that happened, we talked about it, guys. We talked about it. Another thing that stops when you get married is job potential. Look at people when they get married, what happens with them job wise? Everything changes. That's why they want you to get all your promotions, get as high as you can get before you get married. Right? Because once you plateau, now it's time to get married. But you don't get married on your way up the mountain. You get married at the top of the mountain because the person you're marrying is not meant to build with you. The person you're marrying is meant to live with you. That's a big difference. Some people ain't meant for building. They meant for living. Some people are meant to be a trophy on the shelf, a trophy that you take out. They ain't meant to be in the ground with you. And that's not a negative thing about that person. But when I tell people the system is the problem, I can look at anybody who married. And if I talk to them, the first thing I ask, when y'all were dating, what'd you like about him? And he can take me back to that point. He can take me back vividly. Then all of a sudden marriage kicked in. And now those flaws became just, TLC, I'm telling you, those flaws become the only thing he can focus on. Why you think all these women going to plastic surgery and all this? And the dude still leave? Because it was never the body. It was never that. I'm just complaining about you because we stuck in the cell. We stuck in the cell And then we got to act like a certain way when we go out. And I'm just more miserable because if I fail at this, now everybody gonna have something to say. And everything is fake. I like what you said, Real Cigar K. Social media messing up dating too. It's hard, man. Look how you gonna be out there with all these thirst traps? All these thirst traps on social media? It done got to a point these filters so good you can say the dudes look good. All right, man, he look good. The filters done got good, TLC. You got to question your sexuality sometime. On both men and women. No, I'm serious. I'm serious, man. Like nobody look like they look on the app no more. It used to be if you saw a picture of somebody that was really them. Remember TLC, somebody had to hand you a physical picture. Oh man, check her out. Let me see. Man, she ain't look like that. Now, when I saw it, because all the filters, all the makeup, all that stuff. And I think that's what we got to look at. I think when you hear me say marriage is a system that I hate, I don't have no problem with the person. The person is actually ideal. The person is actually fun to be around. I don't hold that person to the standard of a system that doesn't work for anybody. I hold that person to a standard that we created ourselves, that we can build around, that we can bond around, that we can do things around. Go ahead, Ron.
Well, no, because that sounds like self-preservation. That sounds like I got to make sure I make it through this thing. So we have to compromise. Like literally, we have to come to a compromise so that we can make this thing work. How we know it can work. All because we got married, where you wouldn't have been talking about it if y'all were just dating, if it was just a boyfriend-girlfriend thing.
Yes.
And you kind of got to, it's just like with your career. If your career path ain't working for you, your profession, then you got to change it. You got to find something that's going to work. But again, it still goes back to marriage is not ordained by God. No matter how much people lie to themselves about.
Get down in them comments.
Married to have some sex or whatever they want to do. That's their business.
Yeah, repeat that again, Rhonda. What'd you say about sex?
Because they get married just so they could feel okay under the conviction of Christianity or whatever other religion say that it's
y'all
okay.
Y'all going to hell if y'all keep operating like that, right, Ron?
We fornicators, TLC. That's just our life.
That's it, right? That's what they do to you. And realistically, the same scripture tells you flesh and blood should not inherit the kingdom. He ain't in the flesh and blood business. But you being told that you doing this flesh and blood stuff and it ain't pleasing to him. When realistically, it has nothing to do with that. And what happens is, this is why when you're with a person, take the flesh and blood away, and what is left? That's the best part about it, TLC. Take the flesh and blood away and what's left. And now, that's the true relationship. Because your flesh and blood is deteriorating every day. The real relationship is, can I vibe with you? Can I hang with you? Can I spend time with you? And it's not a burden. Go ahead, TLC.
I did see an article. I texted to y'all. It was talking about the health benefits of marriage. And
the man dies first, and the woman lives.
No, this is like
that wasn't an article.
No, that one. It said that on average, couples who are married have better heart. Like they don't get heart disease as much, and they have better memories. This is like a medical journal article. So it did say there was some health benefits.
Who wrote it? It was some miserable dude that's married that's trying to tell himself it ain't bad.
Yeah, because they got
go to any medical practice. Go to any medical practice. It ain't no single people in there. Single people ain't got no medical conditions. TLC. What he compared to? Ain't no single people coming in this practice. What single people you know got medical conditions?
Again, if you fall out, at least you got there. TLC, me and you fall out is what it is. Hopefully Apple can call 911. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how they
3 days. If I pass out, I just be at home for 3 days.
Look, let me tell you something. That's the whole perspective. TLC. That's what makes people think. These people lying to you about marriage because the government needs you to be married. The government and the church needs you to be married because you'll always be dependent on them. You'll always be dependent on them, right? I told somebody the other day. You ever seen anybody who running a Fortune 500 company, or you ever pull up to somebody driving a G-Wagon or a Rolls Royce and they blasting gospel music at the light? No. No, you ain't never look.
I see a lot of Buicks and Cadillacs. Some Oldsmobiles. Some Oldsmobiles.
You look at the cars that's blasting gospel at the light. Just watch. And the best part about it, now people gonna say, well, Jeff, the car don't matter. But what you don't realize is what you've been taught is completely wrong. Marriage is a concept that was a business acquisition. If you don't know business, why you get into a business acquisition? Then you have kids and you compound it. Then you have what we had last week, work wife, work husband. Right? All that stuff compounds it. And then that pressure kicks in and now you getting divorced, which is worse than marriage. That's why when TLC's talked about it on a previous podcast about divorce rates, look at how higher they were for people who had already been married once. Right? They just don't, it just keeps getting worse and worse. So you have to disconnect from that system mentally and spiritually and connect with your person again, mentally and spiritually, because that's what y'all did when y'all were dating, laughing at each other, joking on one another, not getting pissed because she said, she said something about you or you said something about her. That's what you got to do. You got to disconnect from that system and connect with the person. Bride and bridegroom. Bride and bridegroom. And people don't get that component. Husband and wives fight. That's what husband and wives do. That's why you say it's work, because you working to win the argument. Now one person just shut down. You still thinking you winning? No, he or she with the work spouse, or they at the bar, right? Now they lying to you. They living a separate life. So again, it's just one of those things, man. Rhonda, I was gonna get you to come back in there for a second. I didn't realize we had gone this long. TLC, give me your closing thoughts for the night, brother.
My closing thoughts for the night. I still believe in marriage. I think it must be some way. It must be work. And there must be some happiness in there. Okay. Somewhere.
When you find out that some way, bring it back to the podcast. When you find out that some way, bring it back to the podcast. Sorry, go ahead and finish your statement.
It can't be all these people having 20-year anniversaries or something, and there's no good years in there anywhere. There has to be some happiness somewhere. So for anybody out there that's looking at getting married, go ahead and jump that broom. Go ahead and make it happen.
TLC wants you miserable. He wants you miserable. Y'all don't follow that man's advice. Don't follow that man's advice. Yeah. TLC is sitting there. Don't follow that man's advice. Rhonda, what's your closing thoughts for tonight?
Listen, I'm still sticking with what I said at the beginning. Like, it's not good for you. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And continue to enjoy each other. And just get your paperwork in order. Like, get your paperwork in order. If you want them to have something, if one of y'all pass away first, it's like, just make sure that their names are on the proper documents. And you ain't necessarily got to go through the whole process of everything else. I just feel like if you want your good relationship to go bad, get married. Back to you, JB.
Oh.
and look, hey, Rhonda, I'm glad you said it.
Where did we go wrong?
Look at what she said. If you want to put the nail in the coffin of your relationship, get married. That's what she said. Now, my closing thoughts are simple, guys. Don't confuse the person with the system. Don't confuse the person. Remember what this topic said. Should the goal be marriage for dating couples? If you dating, you happy right now. If you dating, you happy right now. People seeing you happy and they putting that pressure on you to ruin it. And then they tell you, like, they scare you. You don't want to be found dead by yourself. Well, who gonna take care of you when you get old? No, I watch enough Law and Order. When you get old, they're gonna be the one who take you out. If you get killed right now, the first person they looking at is your person you married to. Or they look. If y'all dating, you don't ever hear about crimes of passion. Go look on Snap. Go look on Snap. When you date, it ain't no crime. It's when somebody get married. That's why it's called Snap, because you lost it. If you think marriage work, why they got a show called Snap and Dateline Investigation Discovery? Go look at it. TLC. It ain't because people dating. It ain't because people dating. My closing thoughts: don't confuse the system with the person. I got an amazing person. I got a person that when you connect with what life is all about, it ain't hard to spend time together. Okay? It ain't hard to spend time together because you're not trying to formalize these relationships. You're not trying to put a title on it. Remember, guys, the unofficial title gives you the best reward. Once you start formalizing things, I said it on a previous podcast, formal relationships are under attack. Formal. And again, just remember what I said earlier. The pastor signs your marriage certificate, but he ain't nowhere to be found when it's time to do that divorce decree. And if you think marriage is governed by your Bible, go try to bring up your Bible at your divorce hearing. So you better learn the laws of the land that is actually governing your marriage, and you're gonna learn not to get married. Because what they're trying to do is put you in a prison. Because the more people they can put in a prison, the more harvest there is for people who are not in prison. That's why you working for somebody who came from who's probably not married, who didn't get married at the same age you got. You got married and all that stuff. Okay, so just remember, guys, there ain't no problem with the system. There ain't no problem with the person. The problem is the system, man. Don't take the burdens of the system out on the person you with. The person you with is a good person. Y'all got to disconnect from that system and go back and formalize what you did while you were dating. You don't have to get married. Keep operating in that system that God can bless, because he can't bless your marriage. That's why when you go get a divorce, they don't want to hear the word God. Because if your God was so good, why you in here getting divorced? And you know what it is, man. It's the Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. I'm the Real Cigar Jeff. Y'all get down in the comments, man. Hit the comments, man. That helps the channel out, man. That helps spread this video out. We on our way to 100,000 subscribers, man. And y'all got to understand, look below in the description, get the merch. Y'all see it right here. Tell me what you think about that. If you want the Real Cigar Jeff merch, y'all see Rhonda holding up. You know who it is. She done bought her whole line. She done bought her whole line. And y'all see TLC with the merch, the original merch, the OG merch, man. Y'all support the channel. Let us know what you think about this in the comments, whether you agree, whether you disagree. And man, we're not here to break up relationships. We're here to enhance relationships. People say, Jeff, that's all you talk about when you on your podcast is relationship. Yeah, because the reason most of y'all smoking, because your relationship kicking your butt. Or you trying to find a relationship. That's why we talk about real conversations. It's real people having real conversations, guys. We're not trying to act like we better than anybody. We having conversations that people have when they smoking and when they drinking, because when they smoking and they drinking, they can let their guard down and not feel like they being judged and all that kind of stuff, man. And like I said, y'all know what it is, man. Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. I'm the Real Cigar Jeff. You can find me on Instagram at the Real Cigar Jeff, Facebook, Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. And of course, if you hadn't done it already, hit that like button, mash that subscribe button, turn on that bell for notifications, man. You get access to these videos as soon as they drop, man. And until next time, we gon' holler. Yeah.
It's your boy JB, live and direct to you. You know what it is. Like and subscribe to.